What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. So MCM Comic-Con was this weekend, and that meant London was calling with a bunch of new figure reveals from Hasbro's Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified Series, and Star Wars Black Series figures. And I thought, overall, this is a great presentation from the various brands. Hasbro kind of held back some of these reveals from the 1027 live stream, but to see them just a few days later, it's kind of cool. All's forgiven. And I feel like holding off to have some new reveals this weekend made a lot of sense. Let's break them down. Now, first off, if you're going to go to London for a convention, you may as well show off the G.I. Joe who's based in London. And that's Big Ben. Big Ben was a character I thought really would have benefited from being in the Sunbow cartoons because he's a cool looking character. In the comic book, he didn't get a lot of attention, but he looks cool and he's an SAS member, kind of on a student exchange, talent exchange, coming over to the Joe Squad. This figure looks really good. We got the render, we got the colored up deal, we see his accessories. I think they did a really nice job with him. I'm looking forward to adding him to my collection. It was one of the later era Joes making his way into the line. I really appreciate that Hasbro isn't just sticking to all old school, all middle school, or hey, we're going way off the beaten path here with these character selections. They're trying to get in a good mix. Kamakura's out to people now who've ordered them on Amazon. We're seeing other figures that are like, wow, you're getting him already or her already? And Big Ben is another good example of that. Big Ben just looks cool. I mean, he has a cool, he really stands out apart from the other Joes, and I think that really helps. So he's not looking like he's coming off the U.S. military assembly line. He looks like he's got some distinguishing elements to him. I'm curious if we're going to see the Joe team introduce some of those October Guard members who actually join the team later on, or if we're just going to keep it to our friends over in the UK. We'll see. Next up, we got some 2-pack that I was kind of surprised they teased it. I didn't think we were going to see it as soon as we did. It's the Cobra female or women troopers 2-pack, and these look really good. They've got a really nice design for them. We've got a white one, a black one. That's cool. We got the different web gear, one with the brown like the comic, another with the black web gear like the cartoon. That's a nice touch, but they are loaded out with accessories. They got all the blast effects, the vapor trails, so many guns. It's like, yeah, okay. So even if you decided, okay, I'm going to army build a bunch of these, you could kit them out with so many weapons that they will look really different. I like that. I don't know how many of these troopers I'm going to get. Maybe 4, maybe 6, because, you got to have, 3 or 4 times as many of the dudes compared to them. But I really like this, and it'll give Scarlet and Lady J and CoverGirl Cobra troopers to beat up on and not have to look bad for beating all the dudes up all the time. So really like this set, and really excited to see it come out so soon after they teased that it was going to come. Next up was a figure that I was really shocked to see because, when Hasbro was doing their later stages of G.I. Joe in the 375 line, they were coming up with some really nice, really original characters. Shadow Tracker was one of those. Shadow Tracker had such a cool look, and I kind of thought these figures are going to be so far away from getting into the Classified series line that I need to put them on a wish list or kind of hope we'd see them. Shadow Tracker is coming, and I cannot wait to see what they do with the accessories, how they pull off the entire look of Shadow Tracker, because that could be one of the cooler looking Cobras in the entire line if they do it right. So really hoping that they knock out Shadow Tracker, because that could be a standout figure all the way. So now we move on to Star Wars Black Series, and my thoughts on this. I love the figures when I get them. I wish they had better variety. I don't need my 28th version of Boba Fett to go along with my 19th Star Wars New Hope Luke Skywalker. Let's keep expanding the line. And shockingly, this is going to be the 20th anniversary of Clone Wars. I mentioned this before. I saw the movie in theaters. Thought it was the worst Star Wars movie I'd ever seen. Ha ha ha. Joke is going to be on me soon. But my brother and my cousin were like, you need to watch this Clone Wars cartoon. It's amazing. It's great. I finally did, during the pandemic, watch the entire slate, all 7 seasons, and was like, this is one of the greatest Star Wars things ever. Give me all the figures. Give me all the characters in figure form from Clone Wars. Hasbro's been really dragging their feet on that, taking a really long time. But with this 20th anniversary, we got some hints, some teases that they're actually going to focus on this, which is great news to hear for me and for all the Clone Wars fans out there. So first up, the pipeline reveals Ahsoka. And this is young Ahsoka, basically how she appeared through most of Clone Wars. You know, we have her season 7 look, where she squared off against Darth Maul. Epic lightsaber battle, duel. But for the most part, she was hanging with Anakin. And she was his Padawan. We've got our Clone Wars version of Anakin, so it's nice to have his Padawan beside him in action. Hopefully she'll be shorter, appropriately so. I'm really looking forward to seeing her, because now I'm going to have this whole evolution of Ahsoka from Clone Wars, the end of Clone Wars, to Rebels, to Mandalorian. It's kind of nice having all these various looks that aren't just a costume change for Ahsoka. Then we got the Magna Guard, and those are, you know, those troopers that General Grievous had on his ship when Obi-Wan and Anakin were saving Palpatine. Nice to have those. Hopefully they can figure out some cool way to do their twirling bands or rod staffs. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. And then we've got the phase 2 clone troopers. So more of the stormtrooper look. No colors on this one. I actually like that because that allows for a lot of army building. Hopefully they don't put it out at some place like Walgreens where it's impossible to army build. But someplace like Target, Walmart, GameStop, where you can just find them and keep building up your army of clone troopers. Even if there's no colors, that's fine, because that's what the ARC troopers are for. They can all pair around them, and I can have a nice army of clone troopers. And then the other pipeline reveal isn't necessarily from Clone Wars. It's Omega from season 2 of Bad Batch, which hasn't come out yet, but we know that they're going to have distinct looks and colors and all that stuff. And of course, the star of the show, got to get that Omega figure out soon. Going on to gaming grades, we're going to see some more Knights of the Old Republic figures. We're going to get a new Darth Maluk and a Bastila Shan. Both of those figures look really good. I'm a PlayStation guy, so I've never actually played Knights of the Old Republic. I need to track down those games and actually play them so I can appreciate them in their full character glory before I track down these figures. But they look really good, and I think they're going to be really great additions to the line. And as a comic book fan, I'm really excited to see another one of those Scar Troopers, Scar Trooper Mike. He's going to be joining the squad, and I'm hoping this is not just a one-off. We're going to see the whole entirety of that crew to face off against the Rebels, to face off against Luke Skywalker, because that would be a really cool addition to the comic book section of my Star Wars universe. Speaking of which, Dr. Aphra's getting a new figure as well. I'm glad for everybody who missed out on her to get another shot, but I'd love to see her droids get back into rotation as well. It's been a long time since we've seen them. They're really expensive on the secondary market, so let's get those guys out there too, since we're kind of like, hey, maybe we can do that. And then there are other characters, specifically another big tall Wookiee, who deserves a better looking figure than the Mandalorian version that we got from him, but you know, I won't mention Carsanton by name. You know who I'm talking about. And finally, Mara Jade is joining the comic book line, and I cannot wait to get her. She's a cool character, and this creates that nice fork in the road from the sequel trilogy storylines where Luke is a nephew-killing crazy person to a guy who's well-adjusted, gets married, and has a nice happy life. So, Mara looks really cool. Really like the way they did her outfit, her whole gear, got her blaster, she's got her lightsaber, and that's the path of Luke Skywalker I want to follow and have on my figure shelf. So cannot wait to add her there and put her in my post Return of the Jedi universe section of my display. And finally, Marvel Legends. So we've seen a lot of characters in this Avengers wave. Still don't know who the Build-A-Figure is yet, but this wave looks pretty good. And for the most part, I will happily buy every character in this wave. So as long as the Build-A-Figure is just not terrible, I'm going to have a Build-A-Figure. I'm going to have a new set of Avengers, and I'm pretty happy about that. So first off, Safari Jacket Wonder Man. Can't wait to get him in the collection. Baron von Strucker. Yelena Belova, Black Widow. We saw those at the 1027 panel. And we also know the previous reveals, Molecule Man, Classic Orb. So we got 2 more figures that were revealed at MCM. That's Extremis Iron Man and Ultimate Captain America. Extremis Iron Man is an armor that Iron Man rocked long enough to be worthy of being in the figure display. You know, if you want to have that new Avengers setup, that's an important look. And there's so many storylines, including Civil War, that he rocked that. So you really kind of need to have that in figure form to really have all the signature looks of Iron Man. So that's a noteworthy figure, and one worth Marvel Legends Hasbro doing an updated version on. Ultimate Captain America is a little bit different. This is a character figure that Toy Biz and Hasbro taking their cracks at. Not a bad figure. Looks good. I like the choice to have 2 portraits. That's always welcome. But they're not gonna go really heavy into Ultimates. We haven't seen an Ultimate Thor, Giant Man, Hulk, Wasp, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, etc. So I just feel like all they're gonna do is just do Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and call it the Ultimates. But we're not really gonna go so far into that. That is really necessary to me. And I know with this last Build-A-Figure controller wave, we had an Iron Man, we had a Thor, so it makes sense. Split the love up a little, add Cap into the mix, hold off on Thor. Although I think Thor has more options in terms of viable figures than Captain America at this point that still need to get done. Bearded Thor, Walt Simonson version, for example. I mean, armored Thor, lots of different versions of Thor. And we're kind of going in Ultimate realm with Captain America. And we're just like, that's cool, but all right, whatever. Personally, I'd prefer to see this 20th anniversary Marvel Legends version repainted up a little bit with the black around his cowl, just the way it looked in every comic book. But hopefully that's something we'll see later. So that's going to be a really good wave. I hope the Build-A-Figure is cool because I'm pretty much all in on these guys. Like Ultimate Captain America, Yelena Belova. Maybe I'll rush to get them if the Build-A-Figure is cool. But everyone else in that section, in that wave, I'm like, yes, sign me up for the Target sale. Sign me up for whenever we get a big sale because I'm grabbing those figures and really looking forward to adding them to the collection. So nice setup there. So we got the final figure reveals of that 5-pack, the rectangular mentioned or leaked a while back. We've already seen Pretty Boy from the Reavers. Check. We got Strife from the MLF. So we got the other 3 revealed at MCM. Vertigo to pair up with Sabretooth and Gambit from our Marauders. She looks fine. Really glad to get another Marauder. Hopefully we get a box set with the rest of them soon. Arclight, Scalp Hunter, Harpoon, 3. Just a really quick 3 easy ones for you guys, Hasbro. Then we also saw Zero, another member of the MLF. Basically the MLF's transporter. That's cool. Another figure to add. I love the whole thing of a 5-pack giving us multiple members of multiple teams. Guys, yeah, we could just do a Reavers pack, we could do a Marauders pack, but I like the variety here. It adds on to different teams, and it's not like I don't want the Reavers, it's not like I don't want the MLF. Of course I want the Marauders. So this way I can keep buying these box sets and getting more characters, more additions to these rosters. And finally, another team member, Random. And Random is not a bad guy team. He's joining X Factor, the second iteration with Havoc, Polaris, Forge, Mystique, Wild Child. It's a little bit crazy after a while on that, but Random's cool because he fought that team as well. So we get a villain and we get a teammate all in one set there. So I'm really looking forward to this. I assume it's going to be an Amazon box set. And this will be one that I think every figure is worth getting in this set. I don't mind, the double dip on Strife because the other figures are really necessary. And the Strife looks like an improvement over the original one. So I'm excited. I'm happy about this one. And I think they did a really nice job making characters that work for X-Men fans in one set. Without some random thing of, hey, here's Ultimate Spider-Man in black. There's no Wolverine here. It's just villains that'll work to complete some more teams. So really love that. So overall, I really thought they did a nice job of showing off some new figures, giving us some more information about what's to come and teasing some more stuff. So we got some bad guys joining the ranks of the X-Men squad. We got more Avengers for that Avengers wave. Female Cobra Troopers coming to the JoJo Classified series. An awesome looking Big Ben. Shadow Tracker. Great additions to the Star Wars Black series. And some different Christmas theme color variants of other figures. So overall, a really good presentation. As usual, I'm excited about what Hasbro is doing. I just wish they would do it a little bit better, a little bit more consistently. But this is a really good sign of what's to come and what they could be doing that can earn them really high marks from me in 2023. So let me know what you guys think. Were you excited about these MCM reveals? Were you hoping to see something that they did not show? Or were you just like, hey, that's pretty good? I'll be cautiously optimistic that you guys are on the right direction. As always, thank you so much for watching. This episode of Laos Figure Files has been filed.